Hi, it says I'm live. I don't know. I'll let you know when I see it in my YouTube, in my words, on my tablet. Hello and welcome. If you are new here, I am Dolores, Miss Damn Jewelry. This is Vintage News Hour where we talk all things vintage. I still haven't seen me pop up yet. I see Bree though. Hey girl, I will put you up there in a minute. I just gotta wait for me to pop on. I haven't popped on yet. And there'll probably be some commercial which I will not monetize from. I can not monetize. So let me just look. Let me see. Come on now. Live. Sorry, y'all. Here we go. Are we live yet? We're live. Okay, here we are. Hello. There we go. Hi, Bree. Gonna be just me and you today, girl. Just us girls hanging out. How is everyone doing? How's Bree doing? Bree, is it still like 100 degrees there? Because the other day you said it was like 100 degrees. It's like April. I can't. That's I hope you can hear me. I'm sure you can. Yep, Bree's like, yep, you're good. She's like, woo. Okay. Is it still 100 degrees there? Because I remember you saying it was 100 degrees. I was like, it's April, y'all. How is it still so hot? I mean, how's it even this hot yet? I know it gets hot there. Does it get, I don't know, you live up quite north, don't you? Hey, LaDonna. I mean, I know you live like it. Oh, it's cooled off. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Girl, I bet you were like, woo. Thank you. Thank you so much for cooling off for me. Oh, guys, today, let me know what the weather's like. You know, we have to talk about the weather. Breeze cooled off a lot from 100 degrees in April. And April's not even ended yet. We still have a couple more days. Hasn't even gotten to May yet. But it'll be, did I say? Hello, LaDonna. Oh, no, that's not. Y'all, hello. Let me just, there we go. Hello, LaDonna. Hey, Heidi. How are you doing? It's been rainy here. Rainy. I woke up this morning to a frost on my car. I had to scrape my windshield. I was not impressed. We're waiting for storms, large hail and tornadoes after 3. Okay, well, we'll be hopefully we'll be finished by then, and then you can go hide from your tornadoes and your hail. Jeez, it's that time of year. I know Daniel's talked about it before. Hey Jamie, hey girl, that's my bestie, y'all. Um, it's that time of year, right before, like when it's spring and the weather changes, right before hurricane season. So you get all the great weather starting to happen. It's tornadoes, hailstorms, and then we get into June, hurricane season starts. I mean, we may catch a break in October. No, hurricane season lasts till November 1st, doesn't it? God. Well, hopefully it won't be that hot here this summer. Based on what I've seen so far, not looking likely. It's going to look like a rainy season this year. That's all it's done. So I'm glad everybody has popped in. We've got 6 people here. What we do here on the Vintage News Hour, Vintage News Hour, we talk all things vintage. I find topics to talk about. Fun. It's very light. We don't get heavy here. Sometimes I get a little excited, but if you're here, you're used to that. If you've been here, you're used to me getting a little excitable about certain things, especially rogue animals, which we're not talking about today. We are talking about some really cool stuff. Just I wanted to do something different. So what I'm doing today is usually I'll pick one story and kind of run with that. But I thought let's just do some like real random snippets of stuff. And this is going to be stuff that I know. I don't know if anybody here is probably the same age I am. I'm double nickels, as we know. It's 55. So I was a child of the 70s. Yes, 80s. I was a teenager in the 80s, 70s, 80s. Teenager in the 80s. Child, like kid in the 70s. So if you grew up in the 70s, things were a lot different in the 70s. Health and safety had no place in the 1970s. No, it did not. No health and safety. Well, none of that happened, child. You were going. I remember stories of us just riding loose in the back of a station wagon. And I mean loose, like my dad had we were for a Ford family. I mean, I don't know if that's a thing, but where we were from, we were a Ford family. And you were a Chevy family or Ford family, you know. We were a Ford family. All my father's cars were Fords. Lindsay was Heidi said, just watching me drive. Ray, yeah, girl, uh-huh. I tend to ignore it now because I don't even want to I didn't want to hear about the Ray. In my mind, the sun's shining. So I was a kid in the 70s. My dad always had a station wagon. We had three kids. There was three of us. And I remember riding in the back of the station loosely, like just rolling around. We would be going from Houston to Del Rio, Texas, which is about, I don't know, 600 miles. Kids just loosely rolling around in the station wagon, with the groceries, unbuckled in the back seat, So the 70s were, oh, they were fun. Oh, it was fun time. Chevy here. There you go. See, right, exactly. You were just throwing in the car, um, uh, just boop. Just, there you go. You know, you're a baby, and there's no your car seat is your brother holding you. The back seat, here, hold her. Like, and now what? Hold on to her tight. I might have to stop real quick. So, and it was a different time. Things are different. We know more now. We know better. We could do better. About on all things. So this is, so I've got like these random, it's like 70s random stuff. Hey, Kathy, how you doing? How you doing, Kathy? Uh, so this is basically so the first part of this is just gonna be, there's two parts. One's gonna be all randomness, vintage randomness. Let's see, girl, I remember being in the back of my truck and my mom swerving on purpose to throw us around. Who needed Six Flags over Texas? You had the back of a pickup truck. Yeah, back in the farmer's wagon. Yeah, absolutely. It's just, and it was a different time. So, oh hell, the 70s. So I wanted to that's my doorbell going. Of course someone gonna come to my door when I'm doing a live. That's okay, Dave's got it. So what I wanted to do was talk about some yeah, your mom's arm was a seatbelt. Absolutely. And so you even do that now with with somebody, and there are, and they're the seatbelt. Your arm is not going to be as good as a seatbelt and or what do you call those things? The airbags, those things. So I thought, let's talk about some 70s vintage things that happened in the 70s that we may have forgotten or maybe chose not to remember, or for our own safety, put it in the back of our mind. So that's what we're going to talk about. A few things are going to be about the 70s, and some of these I knew, and some of these I didn't. I knew one of them, and we'll get into why I knew that, because brothers. So one of the things that happened in the 70s was, now I'll be honest, I'm not a Disney person. I've never been a Disney person. I mean, I was when my kid was little, and we watched all the Disney movies. But other than that, yeah, and people love it. People go to Disneyland, Disney World, Disney Paris, Disney wherever else they have Disney. So, but in October of 1971, you know, Disney World first opened up in Orlando, Florida. I I didn't know. I wasn't really sure if I knew it was that old or if I thought it was newer than that. Again, I've never been to either, so, or even Disneyland Paris. I haven't been there either. So, but when it first opened, Disneyland Orlando, Disney World. So there's Disneyland, that's California, and Disney World, which is Florida. Okay, right? Please correct me, because I really don't know. Hey, Daniel. Hey, buddy. Oh, I can't ever do that right. I always hit someone else when I do that. So the Disney World in Orlando, Florida, it opened up in 1971, and it first opened on 7 acres of land. So, and it employed only 5,500 people. That's quite small. If you think, again, I've never been there. But you see like video of it, and people like walking for miles. And I know I have friends in Florida who go to like the Universal Studios and all that kind of thing, and they're there. It's like an all day thing, and there's rides, and you see Mickey Mouse, and the kids love it. But 7 acres, if you think about it, I mean, back then probably seemed big, but now that's like someone's backyard. Yeah, my parents waited until August. Oh, sorry. Oh no, here we go. No, my parents waited until August 9th to take us to Disney World. Oh, let's see. Yes, you would go for several days. Yeah, you would do. It would be something you would have to go for several days too, because you to cover it all. And there's different, like I think the one in Orlando has obviously Disney World, and they have Universal Studios, and they have, there's all these other Safari Park, I believe they have. So now you're talking like days and money. I didn't get how much it cost to go in 19. I should have looked that up. How much it would have cost to go in 1972, or sorry, 71, as to opposed now, which I believe is like $200 now ticket. I don't know. Again, I've never been, so I don't know. Um, but it was, yeah, 7 acres, and you think about, that's not that big. That's like now that's probably like the Walmart and its car park, right? 7 acres, or maybe the Costco. I've never been either. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and here's the thing. I think they nowadays, Heidi, they do have, facilities for people who, maybe if if it's better for you to use a wheelchair to go, and then just get up and down as you can, or maybe like a little like electric scooter. Those are good. Yeah, it's electric scooter probably better for you. But and they have now, obviously now that those kind of they have those kind of accessories, or those kind of things for people to go into. Adult, oh, £3.50 for adults in 1971, right? I mean, so think about it. I don't know what the cost is now. I don't. I'm going to say it's about $200 a ticket. I mean, maybe not. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but I feel like it's depending on what. Like if it's got an average ticket, not like like an express ticket or anything like that. Just like, just a ticket to go in basics. She went when she was a child, and then later went back in adult 2005. Yeah. So and a lot of people love it. They love Disney. I don't dislike Disney. It's just that it's never been like I need to go. But for 1971, I guess 7 acres and 5,500 employees was a lot. But again, that now would be a Walmart. That 7 acres and 5,500 5,000 employees would be a Walmart and Target next to each other. So, but now, as to date, in 2024, or maybe this was written in 2023, it now covers 27,000 acres. So it's 27,520 acres. That is massive. So you went. I've never been out. I've never been to it. Never been. But I mean, did you like it though when you went, Daniel? Did you enjoy it? Uh, your daughter went last month. Wow. Yeah. Oh, I loved going to Disney World. Yeah. So see, I mean, I think if someone said, "Look, I'm going to treat you, Dolores, when you come back to Texas." I mean, I could go to Disneyland Paris, but I don't speak French, and you probably don't need to go to Disneyland Paris. But I just feel like you're in someone else's country, you should really speak the language. And Paris, not high on the list of places I want to go. For another, I mean, the Eiffel Tower is beautiful, but because I live so close to it, I mean, I want to, hey, Kathy, uh, I live so close to, I live close-ish to Paris. I don't, I know enough about Paris that I don't want to go. No shade to any Parisians that are in here. It's just like London. It's a big city. It's a lot of traffic. It's a lot of hassle. 160 with parking. Okay, so it wasn't far. 200 wasn't too far off. Yeah, 160. Okay. So I saw in a documentary of the development. Yeah, I've seen something like that, and that was pretty cool to watch. And like, the roller coasters and stuff, and all the rides. And now, when I was growing up, we had Six Flags Over Texas, Astro World, and then later came Water World. And I'd been to Astro. To be fair, I've been to Astro World many, many times because it was in Houston. It was like right there. You know what I mean? It's right by the Astrodome, Astro World, the Astro Village Hotel. Is that what's called, Jamie? And anyways, that's not it. And so I went to Astro World. You'd go on the rides. They had concerts in the summer. When you're a teenager, you go see the concerts. So I have been to theme parks. It's just that I went to Six Flags as opposed. That's like the different. I mean, it's the same, but I mean, they didn't really have like a character that Um, uh, like we went to Six Flags to go see, I don't know, the Beaver, like Buc-ee's. I don't know. I do go to Buc-ee's to see the Beaver. I'll be honest. They have a janky place called Funtown, girl, Funtown. So yeah, so 27,000 acres right now as we speak. That is a lot. That's a large plot of land. Do you know what I mean? Just like we could all go to Cedar Point all the time. Yeah, exactly. It's like a place that's close to you, you're going to go to. And it employs 77,000 people. Hey, Sandy. Thanks for popping in. So 77,000 people and over 27,000 acres. And that has grown a lot. That has really, really, and people love it. People absolutely love it. Astroworld and Waterworld. Oh, girl, we used to love go. I think we've been together once. Me, you, Michelle. Remember that? The kids? Yeah, it was a long time ago. Anyway, yeah, Astroworld was good. It's unfortunately closed down. I don't even know what's there now. Is it just parking now? Is that where? Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what's there now. So it is a long time. It was sad the day Astroworld closed. It was iconic. You know what I mean? So and Disney is known all over the world. People everywhere love it. People can, it's to me, and you can say what you will about Disney, but it's kind of like a common bond. No matter where you are in the world, no matter who you are, you see an iconic, Disney image, and you're all like, and to be fair, there's some kind of comfort in that, that you see something and you recognize it, and hey Val, oh, you recognize a Disney character, and it is the kind of thing that brings people together. You can all, talk about, everybody identifies with Disney now. So, everybody can know it. Everybody knows it. They can identify a character. They can talk about it. So it is kind of a thing that brings people. It's a small world after all, y'all. So cheesy. It's just parking for the rodeo now. Okay, see, that's a shame. But I mean, there's water theme parks all dotted all outside, like right outside on the outskirts of Houston. Like there's one in Katy now, but it's no Astroworld, child. It's no Astroworld. Yeah, and so, but here's my question. So as we know, Disney is worldwide and has theme parks all over the world. I know. I think there's some in Japan. There's one in Japan. One in China. Is there one in China? I'm gonna say there's one in China. I don't know. Don't quote me. Obviously, Paris. There's one in Orlando, Florida, California. But here's my question: why weren't there more? You could have put. I mean, you have you have one in California and one in Florida. Why not go like north? Past the Mason-Dixon line, or like something like that. Is it because it's too cold and you wouldn't get? Is it because it's so cold that you wouldn't get as many days out of it if you had it somewhere like in Maine or somewhere like New Hampshire or Vermont? Jazzland went under after Katrina. Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. So yeah, a lot of things did after Katrina. It was a mess. But I'm just curious why there aren't more Disney parks in the United States. It could be a matter of land. It could be a matter of that the people who run it think this is good. We're making all this money off these two. I can imagine it's a very big expense to open up a theme park of such a size. When we were little, we told our girls when they were little. I was surprised at all the clothes I packed for them. Girl, of course, yeah, of course. What else they gonna wear? Japan, India has a Disneyland. Wow, tax breaks. Okay, I don't know, and I'm not saying that Disney should go buy up the land and put something there now. I was just curious as to why there weren't more of them. Like Six Flags Over Texas, they're everywhere. They're all over the place. There's one in Atlanta. There might be one up in the eastern, the northeast or the eastern states. I think there was one in San Antonio, or was it Dallas? Houston had one. So that's the thing. I'm like, there was lots of it has to be warm weather. Okay, so you have to go someplace where Arizona's got warm weather. Put one there. Or Texas has warm weather. Oklahoma, I mean, not a lot of people go to Oklahoma. No shade to Oklahoma people. I'm sorry. Arkansas, well, they've got the Ozarks. I mean, I'm just saying, like, uh, okay, yeah, Busch Gardens. We have a Busch Gardens in Galveston. Yeah, we do. Yeah, and Dave has been to the Hershey Park. Dave, when he had to go work over in, so he worked in North Carolina. Well, I mean, he got sent there from our company, sent him to North Carolina to help with their facility, and then they were gonna do the work there, but then lightning struck the facility and knocked all the power out. So then they had to go to Pennsylvania. They had this big old. Then he ended up in Pennsylvania doing so, and they went to Hershey World, so he loved it. Oh, girl, anything in Texas after May is unbearable. Going outside. Yeah, San Antonio and Dallas both have. I mean, it is a smaller scale. I just think I'm just surprised. It's in a it was yeah, girl. It's, anything after May in Texas, I'll see you in December. Because I'm not going. I used to, but no, not anymore. Too hot for me. So Oklahoma gets snow and lots. Okay, yeah. All right. So, now, okay. See, now this is now it's starting to make sense. That like the Northeast is too cold. Oklahoma gonna get some tornadoes. It's gonna smash all the rock. Can you imagine a ride just being ripped to shreds by a tornado? That's awful. They have a Six Flags there where Heidi is. So yeah, I mean, their state. I think you could put more. Well, I mean, Florida gets hurricanes. California gets earthquakes. You know what I mean? I mean, they're not as often as like a tornado, but Kansas City Six Flags is only open a few months. Yeah, because it's probably cold. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so now, but I was just curious, why isn't there more Disney Worlds or lands or Disney Universe or whatever you want to call it? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Instead, they just bought all the Marvel movies, and now I have to get a Disney Plus to watch them. It's just bad. What's that one? The big one in Northern Ohio. I don't know. If you know what the big one is in Northern Ohio, put it in the chat. I have no idea. I've not been to. These are places I want to go. I want to go to Ohio. I want to go to everywhere. Babio Island, which was on the Canadian half of Lake Erie, closed in '93. Okay. All right. So I mean, we used to have like water, like like was it SeaWorld and all that, which thank God they're gone now. Most of them. Don't get me started. So that was the first thing we're talking about. Cedar Point. Okay, so Cedar Point. I think Kathy Wiseman is that the one in Ohio? Yeah. So I was just curious, but now you've all answered my questions. I didn't think deep and hard about why there's no other Disney Worlds anywhere else, but it makes sense. You want somewhere warm, somewhere with a moderate climate, pretty much year round. I mean, Texas has a moderate climate. I mean, not moderate; it's hot as hell. But most of the year you can do stuff. Apart from hurricane season. Yeah, usually you can until a hurricane comes. That was the first thing, and I just thought, it was interesting that the '70s, the beginning of the '70s, brought us Walt Disney World. Now, the second thing I'm going to talk about that happened in the '70s, this brought back so many memories, good and bad, when I started reading this one. So we're going to talk about cars for a minute. I know we're not car people, although I know Bree's husband is a car guy. The rest of us are probably not. And if you are a car person, please put in the chat. So this next one is about Ford Pintos. If you're as old as me, you remember what a Ford Pinto is. It was a little car. Was it hatchbacky? Or was it like it was a little car. It was small. And I think it was like you say the Ford Mustang, which was wow, Ford Mustang. And then for those who couldn't afford the Ford Mustang, who was poor, you got the Ford Pinto, which is nothing like the Ford Mustang. So, and I have to admit, let me just lay it on the line here. Although my family was a Ford family, I do not drive. I don't like Ford cars, and I have PTSD from owning a Ford Tempo. You remember, Jamie? A Ford Tempo was a car in the '80s. It was awful. This car broke down on me everywhere. There was before days of cell phones. You had to walk to the what was it, to the payphone to call your dad and say, "Well, my car broke down again." Hey, Monica. Um, oh, nope. There we go. Oh, we had a pacer in Germany. Yeah, okay. So the Ford Pinto. Um, so in the 1970s, something with the Ford Pinto happened, and they started to explode. I mean, not just like on their own. They didn't just sit there and pop off in the driveway. So during the 1970s, the Ford Pinto became infamous for a critical safety flaw. This was so fascinating, which caused the car to explode. So now it wasn't that your car was sitting in your driveway and it just exploded. That's not there. There was a safety flaw which obviously caused this car to explode. Um, because that was, well, girl, don't, you wouldn't want to ride in the trunk of a Pinto. Let me tell you why. So, the reason why what caused this safety flaw was this was due to the placement of the fuel tank, which was situated in a place that made it susceptible to rupturing when you were rear-ended. So if someone rear-ended you, like you're driving along and someone slammed to the back of you, which would automatically be their fault in the state of Texas and here, um, the car would explode because where the fuel tank was. So the fuel tank was somewhere back behind everything, I guess under the trunk or where I have no idea where it was. Uh, I rode in the trunk of the Pacer. Oh yeah, I did. Oh yeah, the Pacer had a lot more windows. The Pinto was like, and so I mean, yeah. So if you got rear-ended in a Pinto, chances are your car is probably going to, the back of the car would probably explode from you hitting the back of a Pinto, and then the Pinto, the tank rupturing and exploding. I'm like, what? Wait, huh? Who made this car? I know Ford. Who designed this car? Is what I want to know. Who thought, where a good place for the fuel tank is? right, right behind, right, right, right where the bumper is. Okay, here's a bumper. Here's your bumper. So we'll put the fuel tank right here. Who was doing this? Come on now, Ford. I know you make shit cars because I've driven a couple of them and almost died driving them. And I never drove them. I never had a Ford Pinto. Although I had a friend, oddly enough, in the 80s, a friend of ours, Gerald, he had our friend Gerald, he had a Pinto. And it was so fun to see how many of us could actually fit in the Pinto. I mean, be people on people's laps. Hey, Ellen, we're just talking about Ford Pintos exploding. Um, I mean, I mean, I don't even know. I don't know if it was like from the 70s or I think it was. And I'm like, how did you, I mean, because you're young, you're buying a used car, you don't care. But the amount of people we could get in a Ford Pinto was absolutely amazing. I'd say 7, 8. Of course, there's people sitting on people's laps, people sitting this way, people like this, people like, oh, like this. We were all, girl, we were just talking about, see, true. We got a testimonial from Helen. Yeah, it was where they placed the fuel tank in the car. It was her first car and my last after that. They put the fuel tank towards the back of the car, which was situated to where it made it easy to rupture when you got rear-ended. So you probably got rear-ended. Am I right? I'm not a psychic. It's just pretty much what happened. So that wasn't bad enough. If that wasn't bad, we tried 12 people in a small car. Yeah, yeah, that's a feat right there. 12 people. We got, I think, 7 or 8 people in the Pinto. Now we didn't go very far because we were all like, stop the car, let me out. But we did try it. Can you imagine now? God, I'd get 2 people in my car. 2 people in my car is enough. I don't need 8. Sorry, and I have quite a big car. So anyway, if that wasn't bad enough, if it wasn't bad enough that you're driving this Ford Pinto with the so I'm in a Peugeot now. But yeah, so to be a Chevy girl, yeah, as long as Fords. Now I'll get Ford pickup trucks there. I do like a Ford pickup truck, just not a car. I will never. In fact, we were looking for cars. Oh, I got this car. I got a Peugeot. now, and it's like a SUV. We were looking at cars. Dave said, "Oh, we should go look at the Ford dealer." I said, "Are we buying me a Ford pickup truck?" He said, "Well, no." I said, "Okay, then we're not going to Ford to look at cars. Never again." PTSD from that car breaking down. If that wasn't bad enough, Ford. So Ford knows this is happening. Ford realizes this. Uh, Ford does not recall the car, and here's why. At first, they don't. So if that wasn't bad enough, Ford had conducted a cost benefit analysis, which determined, sorry y'all, which determined that the financial cost of recalling the car and fixing the issue were less than the potential legal costs from injury or death. Meaning that, so we can go ahead and leave the car as is because it's cheaper for them just to sue us instead of us recalling the car and fixing the problem. Do what now, Ford? That's why I don't like you. That's why I don't like you, Ford. Our Simca went up, it went in the air after a tech. Oh God. Yeah, that I could imagine. I mean, I'm laughing, but it's because I've never been in a situation where a car caught on fire. But it can imagine me be traumatic. I've been in a wreck, but not the car didn't blow up or anything. So Ford decided, well, recall the car and fix it or get sued. It's cheaper to get sued. They just left the car on the road. I just left it on the road. Y'all go ahead. There you go. So however, eventually the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration ordered Ford to recall all models between 1971 and 1976. And so they had to recall all these cars, and then that was it. They didn't. I mean, can you imagine? You're like, well, it's cheaper just for them to sue us. Screw them people. Tomato, tomato. I mean, honestly, Ford, get it together. That's so rude. I mean, it's not, but I'm not surprised with the Ford car because I'm telling you, PTSD from Ford car is a real thing. So we're going to move on from cars to pets. I told Dave this story. I was telling Dave, he said, "What are you going to talk about?" And I said, "Oh, I have different random subjects." And he said, so I was telling him, sorry, let me just cough real quick. Woo! So I was telling him this story, and I said, "Well, we're going to talk about this pet." He goes, "Oh," so I started telling him about it. He was like, "And that's why people are stupid." I said, "What?" He said, "That's how gullible people are." So what we're going to talk about now are pet rocks. Yes, pet rocks. Pet rocks are a thing if you're not from the United States. Because he didn't know what a pet was. What do you mean pet rock? I was like, I mean a rock in a box. That said pet rock on the side of the box. And it had instructions on how to care for it. And people bought that. And I said, yeah, it was a big thing. He was like, people are stupid. I said, y'all never had him here? He said, not to my recollection, and I wouldn't have bought it anyway. So pet rocks. Pet rocks. Oh my God, y'all. So everyone had pet rocks. I mean, I think we had actual pets. So my dad was like, yeah, I'll not even buy another pet, even if it's a rock. So, which I believe is like the predecessor to the painted rocks people now do and leave. You know, like you paint. Yes, girl, it was. It was. I mean, yes, yes, exactly where it was. Uh, it is weird, Heidi, and people bought them in the thousands. It was, yeah. So obviously, you know, now you see painted rocks and people paint the rocks and they leave them on trails or in parks, and you can swap the painted rock, which I think is really cute and fun, especially for kids. You know, you take your kids to the park and they're just wandering around looking for the painted rocks and they leave their own painted rock. Really fun, really cute. Oh, yeah. See, that's what Dave said. He goes, "Was it like a Tamagotchi?" And I was, yeah, girl, yes. You have to feed it nothing. Well, Dave said when I said pet rock, he's like, "Oh, so you mean like a Tamagotchi?" I said, "No, it was an actual rock that they got. I think it was a rock from somewhere in California or Mexico. It was like a flat rock." He said, "Y'all know." He said, y'all stupid. I said, yeah. I said, So the pet rock was an unexpected fad in the 1970s. It took the nation by storm, y'all. People were, no, girl, they were a rock. It was a rock. There was a rock. No googly eyes, no cute little fuzz on it, no little face. It was a flat rock. So, and it took the nation by storm, created by Gary Dahl in 1975. The pet rock was a smooth and simple stone, um, and presented as an ideal low maintenance pet. Packaged in a small box with holes cut out, so the rock could breathe, and a care guide manual. So apparently, I was reading the story about it, and this guy Gary Dahl, was in the pub or the bar with his friends, and they were just talking about how taking care of family and taking care of pets, and how pets it's a lot of maintenance for a pet. And he says, "Oh well, I have a pet that's really easy. It's a rock." And then that's where the sensation was started. And yeah, so it had I think it had like a 25-page guidebook on how to care for the rock. What are you writing on 25 pages? What this should be blank. So, and it was this cute little box with holes in it. It had like a little handle to carry it, like you'd carry like a little animal in, maybe like a little gerbil. And it said pet rock on the side, and it came with a manual. It was, if everybody Google it, girl, it's a thing. It was a thing in America. I clearly, Dave doesn't remember it happening in the UK. he said people, rich people like that know. But it was cute. And so I mean, it was just a rock, but the concept was cute. Yeah, it was cute. So and obviously this pet rock thing became if you had a pet rock, you were cool, and all the younger, young kids, like early teenagers, had a pet rock. Yes, he cleared 15 million. He was a millionaire after that, y'all. Ain't even playing. And it was a fad that lasted 6 months. Did you breastfeed it? Unclear. I don't know. You'd have to read the manual. I don't know. So, I mean, talk about nuts. Nuts. This guy put a rock in a box, cut some holes out, and said, "Let me make my million." And people bought it. Kids were having, and it was a thing. If one kid got it, everybody else had to have it. And it lasted about, yeah, Dave got left out. I don't think he was too concerned about it. He just kept saying, "Y'all's dumb." He kept saying to me, I said, "What? It's cute." He said, "Y'all dumb." He said, "Just think about people. They'll buy anything." I said, "True story." She's shocked. Heidi's shocked. Not mushrooms. So yeah, it teens and young kids, it was targeted at them. I don't understand the chia pets. Well, that's a plant. I mean, I think it's because because my friend Jamie's husband, Jamie the chat, her husband got a Bob Ross one, and it was like up here on his head, like his afro. Oh, it's so good. He had that thing growing perfect. I have no idea how much it was to buy. I don't know. I can assure you, my parents, being that they had 3 children and dogs already, were not spending the stupid money on a pet rock. I didn't have a pet rock. I never got one. I didn't have one. Had a chia pet. Yes, a chia pet Homer Simpson. Yeah. $5. I mean, we're talking 1975. That's not like $5 today. That's money. You know what I mean? That's like someone's groceries. Despite being absolutely absurd, it was a big fad. But just as quickly as it skyrocketed, it plummeted, and it was about a 6-month span where, do you think it started in October, or was it October? It was about September time, and then obviously the build up to Christmas. Everybody wanted pet rocks. Everybody wanted pet, you know what I mean? You paid for basically paid for the box and perhaps the manual, the care manual, um, the 25-page care manual. So yeah, so as quick as it was popular, it plummeted like right down. Like it 6 months was all it lasted. After that, like things go to fashion. As the same age as Pet Rocks and I are the same age. I'm a little older than Pet Rocks. I was a child when Pet Rocks came out, so I remember them. I remember them originally. So it was still a bit of fun. And you know what? I think that Pet Rocks kind of sum up the 1970s. If you go back and you think, what happened in the 1970s? And you say, oh, well, there was a gas crisis, an oil crisis, and people had to, queue up to buy, was that the 80s or was that 70s? Yeah, that's 70s. Because yeah, it had to be the 70s because I was a kid. And and if you had to queue up, and if you had a license plate that ended in an even number, you went on this day. And oh, what else happened in the 70s? Oh, all this bad stuff. What else happened in the 70s? Pet Rocks. Cars were blowing up, cars were exploding, and then you had the Pet Rock. So I think it's a bit of and here's the thing, they still sell on eBay. This last one sold for y'all got go pay y'all's rock shop. That's the thing, they weren't even painted. They were just a rock with nothing on it. I mean, if you can find like the Rubik's Cube gave you something to do until you completed it, and after you completed it, you're like, yeah, okay, I'm good. Or you, like me, got frustrated with it and just didn't ever do it. I mean, it's like a slinky. What the hell does a slinky do? It goes up. It goes down and down and down and down. You don't go back up. It goes down and down and down. And you put it down and it slinks down. Slinkies are still sold today, and people still buy slinkies for the kids. It's a bit of coiled metal. Sometimes plastic, but usually it's coiled metal. People still buy slinkies. I mean, I love a slinky. I'm going to be honest with you. So it's stuff like, and here's the thing. Someone should do a biography on the man who invented the pet rock. You know how they did what was that movie about Facebook? What was that called? Well, they did a movie about Facebook, about Mark Zuckerberg and all that. They've done movies about the mop lady who invented a mop. They did her. So why don't they do a movie about the man who invented pet rock? That would be so good. Let's see. I was thinking do something. Yeah. Sea monkeys. Oh, I love a sea monkey. I was at Cracker Barrel and they have slinkies. Also, Viewmasters. And I actually have an original. I have to list it. An original Viewmaster, still in its box, with loads of different those discs with different holiday destinations, but they're European and Asian holiday destinations. I got to list all that. I haven't even listed that yet. Oh, sorry. I picked up a pair of clackers. Aren't those? I think they're outlawed, girl. I think they're outlawed. Well, at least I don't know if they're outlawed, but I remember you couldn't take them to school. The Viewmaster, yeah. I mean, and they're simple. Now everybody's got, they're on their phone. They have Netflix. They can, everything's. Yeah. No, that's lawn darts. Okay, I knew those were. I thought, maybe they were not illegal, but maybe they weren't allowed in school because you can bust somebody in the face. So get your eye knocked out. I have 4 original Slinky, large one, 2 large and 2 small, but now the Slinky are made out of plastic, I guess. Yeah, I think a lot of them are made out of plastic. I'm Clackers. Yeah, you remember Clackers? Girl. I think my brother chased me with it one time. Unclear. I mean, because brothers. But yeah, so that was another cool thing from the 70s is a pet rock. And we're all like, yeah, those are the good days. We would spend $5 for a rock in a box. Oh, good old days. I mean, this is why when shit goes down, we're all gonna be able to survive. I'm just saying, because we drank out of water hoses. So the next thing I got, and this, if Crackers were outlawed. Dumb tourists buy them for their kids. What are crackers? Dumb tourists buy them for their kids. And oh, okay. Clackers. Oh, I was like, oh yeah, yeah. I thought they were. I think I don't know if it's like federal or state, but I know they were a bit dodgy. Um, because people, because kids are twats and they're gonna hit each other and you with them. Uh, so the next thing now, if this doesn't say 1970s, I don't know what does. This says this is the most, what I'm about to talk about now is the most 1970s thing, the most bicentennial, even every time I think about it, it didn't even happen in the year of the bicentennial. It happened the year before. But this will be like, eagles sailing. These are all American things. I'm sorry if you're not from America. This is just what I picked. These are just things that, because I remember them. I'm fascinated by them. And this is like eagles soaring. This is like eagles soaring, flags are flailing. You can hear the national anthem playing right now when I say this. When I'm about to talk about, all this will make sense to you. Evel Knievel. Evel Knievel made a record jump in the 70s. Well, he was always jumping stuff. Now, did he always land on the other side? Not really. But this was an actual jump that he did that NASCAR, yeah, NASCAR, Evel Knievel. Yeah, Evel Knievel. And NASCAR is the same. If you hear, use NASCAR, eagles are soaring above. They've got the fighter planes going. People got flag. This is the same thing I think about when I think about Evel Knievel. And as we know, the antics of Evel Knievel dominated headlines in the 70s. Girl, Evel Knievel. Yep, Evel Knievel. That's what we're gonna talk about. You can see the eagles soaring over the park. Flags, little kids with flags. Evel Knievel. And and we know, like, he in all the 70s, Evel Knievel dominated headlines. I don't care who you are. And he was a household name, at least in my household, because I grew up 2 brothers who were obsessed with Evel Knievel. They actually had my one brother had an Evel Knievel toy. You pull like, you put like it had like a tire thing, and you pull the string or the little thing, it would go zoom. Yeah. And you could do it around like a loop and stuff, and he would jump stuff. Yeah, he had an Evel Knievel toy. So Evel Knievel were big. My brothers were obsessed with the man. Okay. So, and it's you think of Evel Knievel, you think of his outfit, his jumpsuit, the jumpsuit he wore, and was very iconic. So, but one of his most iconic stunts was to jump 14 Greyhound buses in 1975 at Ohio's King Island Amusement Park. And we just talked about amusement park. How that tied in? Is that even still open? I don't think it is. Is King's Amusement Park still open in Ohio? Please let me know in the comments if it is. So yeah, he went. So and look, Evel Knievel did a lot of jumps, a lot of different stuff, and a lot of them didn't work out, but this one did. And I always associate Evel Knievel with like the Bionic Man, the Bionic Woman, because that was all like, like all like a big jumble of 70s in my mind. You know what I mean? Yes, it's still okay. So it's still open, and you can probably see the plaque there if they have one of Evel Knievel. Maybe his cape's there. I don't know. His little jumpsuit. So this jump required Evel Knievel in order to jump 14. Now it's by Dayton. Okay, but Dayton, Ohio. He was a daredevil girl. He was kind of like extreme sports before extreme sports were a thing. You know what I mean? Like, yes, he did his 13-car jump at the Astrodome. Yes, see, Jamie's also a child of the 70s. We're friends. We grew up together. We know. So yeah, well, Jamie's not as old as me. She's much younger than me. well, not much younger. She's 6 years younger than me. She ain't that much younger than me. Sorry, Jamie. Um, so yeah, so I think of all this 70s stuff jumbled in my brain together. Um, Fonzie, yes, I believe he was very fun. And again, Fonzie inspired, and that's where the term "jump the shark" came from. Was Happy Days. So, girl, Steph, I mean, you can't beat a good Evil Knievel. It is so. She said, "Don't trip." I'm not say your age. You did, so you tripping. um, so yeah, Evil Knievel, and he was a daredevil. I feel like it was a start of extreme sports. You know, like what's like Red Bull does extreme sports. I think if Red Bull was around, he would have a big Red Bull somewhere on his body. He would, and that's the thing. He should have done that because back then they didn't have like the product placement like they do now. Because he wore that cape and that jumpsuit, he could have had all kinds of things, all kind of advertisement getting paid by sponsors if he'd thought about it. If that was a thing back then. Oh my, yeah, he'd have been really good for Red Bull. He gives him wings. So the buses are like, next to each other, not, 14 buses. Here's a bus, here's a bus, here's a bus. So he's got to jump 14 buses. Greyhound buses, if you're not from the United States, if you're not familiar with the Greyhound bus, it's like a big tour bus if you're from another country. If you were going to go on a tour bus around European countries or cities, it's a big tour bus. That's what it is. So yeah. Um, so this required Evel Knievel to reach optimum speed, trajectory, and control over his Harley Davidson in order to jump 14 buses. And you can imagine the crowd. Oh, the crowd with their, American flag shirts and their hair and their flags. And here's the thing, something like this, even though it's very motorcycling and very automotive-y, you can imagine all these people coming together. Because I don't care who you are. Everybody knew in the 70s, it didn't matter who you were. You were going to watch Evel Knievel do something. There was no, where like NASCAR and people used to watch NASCAR where everybody watched it. It wasn't just like, oh, just guys watch it. Just, these kind of people or just car people watch it. Everybody was watching Evel Knievel. It was, of course, there was also 3 TV channels on the air. So, I mean, it wasn't like you could go to Netflix and watch. See, you kind of, so, and you'd go and people would get together. Again, another thing, like watching someone possibly maim themselves, nothing like that to bring people together. Do you know what I mean? Nothing like, at the time, I don't know how old he was. Like he wasn't like young. He was like, I would say he was like in his 30s when he was jumping buses. He wasn't like 20s. He was like a kid. I don't know. You have to understand that when you look at people in the 70s, even people in their 20s, they always look like they were in their 40s. I don't know. They looked older back then. I don't know why. So, but you can imagine everybody's together. He was old. He wasn't young. Yeah, he was like, he wasn't like a 20-year-old doing this. He was like a man, had kids, and like, just one. And I'm sure he probably done this a lot in his personal life, but yeah, he wasn't young. Like I said, everybody in the 70s, if you look back now and you see pictures of people who are 20 years old in the 70s, they look like 40-year-olds. I just do. I'm sorry. Hard life. But here's the thing. Everybody is at the stadium or at the amusement park. All little kids, big kids, adults, women, men. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're all going to watch this man possibly maim himself, but hopefully make it. But this is what brings us together. Someone possibly maiming himself. So as he jumped, he soared over the buses, seemingly suspended in air. I'm sure there's a video on YouTube you can watch him. He's in the air for some time. Remember, he's jumping 14. He's just like in the air. Yeah. And I know it doesn't seem amazing now. A lot of people do. A lot of people jump off cliffs and stuff like that. But in the 70s, this was a big deal. And it's gonna stay a big deal to me in my heart. It's gonna stay a big deal. Evel Knievel jumping 14 buses is gonna be a big deal to me till the day I die. Okay. And so he's in the air for some time. Yeah, girl. Pretty much. That's how we were. Drinking at ages 18 back then. They were little. From 77 Idol Tour Company sold 120 with it. Yes, we had it. Well, brother had everything Evil Knievel. Girl, he had half that money was from us because my brother loved Evil Knievel. And as he soared in the air for what seemed to be an eternity, because you are jumping 14 buses, um, he landed successfully on the other side. He made it. And this stunt, I don't care who you are, if you're, well, I mean, if you're American and you remember the 70s, that man was a household name. It was a household name before that, but that kind of, that, that sealed the deal. Every kid was, that Christmas, everybody was buying Evil Knievel toys for their kids, for their sons. Um, and also, he was, I think he's an iconic symbol of the 1970s. I really do. I'm not a car person. Again, I'm not like a motorcycle person, but there's something about Evil Knievel that didn't matter. You watched it. You didn't matter. You cheered for him. You were like, "Go on, Evil Knievel, yeah." You None of that mattered when you saw him come out in his amazing jumpsuit. He had a cape, put his helmet on, and he'd rev up his Harley, and he'd do what he needed to do. That says 1970s. Like that doesn't say 1970s. That Pet Rocks. I don't know what. So that's the chat, y'all, today. 1970s. We could have gone on and on and on about all the things from the night. There's a lot more, sure. These are just some of the few things that, I forgot about the Pet Rock. Your mind fills with so many things. Like I'm like a double nickels, right? So I'm 55, double nickels. My mind has to store a lot of stuff. It's not necessarily going to remember Evil Knievel or Pet Rocks or hula hoops or Pintos exploding. But you know when you come across these things, you go, oh yeah, and all those memories start flooding back, and you start to associate. That's why I associate Evil Knievel with like the Bionic Man, the Bionic Woman, because Dottie Marie Osmond show. You know what I mean? All these are lumped in my head together, and when I see something like that, they all release. It's all like, oh, and then there's gonna whole be a barrage of great memories from the 1970s. So I hope you enjoyed today. He was a superhero. He was a superhero. I'm gonna say he goes down in the. I'm gonna file him in my brain as a superhero. Thank you, Heidi. One day when I go back to him, I'll be like, oh, superhero, Evil Knievel. Oh yeah, yeah. Smoking and drinking will age you. That's why everybody looked 40 when they were 20. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for popping in today and discussing the 1970s with me. It was fun. Exploding cars, men jumping buses, rocks and boxes, Disney World, all the things. And I appreciate you guys coming by. And I thank you, Val. I had fun. And I will be thank you, Kathy, for coming. And next week, as far as I'm aware, Double D is on. I'm sure Daniel will update you. Girl, I love the 70s music. Oh my God. And thank you, Heidi. Uh, we should be back next Friday, but keep on the socials and we'll update you with what's going on. And hey, Mr. LPH, Randy. Hello, Randy. And y'all have a great weekend. We'll let you know if we're on Double D next Friday, but obviously every other week, every second and fourth Friday is Vintage News Hours. I will always be here. All right, guys. Thanks so much for popping in. Have a great weekend no matter what you do. Evil Knievel, yay. And I will see you next time. Bye.